Are you just trying to live, laugh, or love? Or are you just trying to do all of the above? This is the podcast for you. Whether you're an aspiring comic, a headlining comic, a class clown, or just an average bro or doe looking for a good time, you, my friend, are in the right place. Welcome to the magical world of Just Trying to Podcast. Welcome, triers, doers, and everything in betweeners. This is Just Trying to Podcast with your host, Mike, Tony, Heath. This week, we have a very special guest on the potty. An actor, a comedian, a former houseless man who used to live under a bridge near you, Rob Conroy. Welcome in.
Oh, thank you.
Podcast. Yeah. Dude, how's your day going? You doing good? You've worked out.
I worked out. I cleaned. I have a house that I cleaned. It's not a bridge.
Not under the local
bridge.
That?
Yeah.
Dude, how long you been living in a house?
Well, it's not even a house yet. It's a condo. But one day,
it's a roof over your head.
Yeah. I think it'll be over we passed the year mark. It's been over a year now. So.
You kind of want to go back to it. Do you ever just like spend the night out under the bridge just because you're kind of missing it?
You know what? I've gone through like bouts of homelessness.
And you call it homelessness.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to, but you're not.
Okay, I have to call it houselessness. Yeah. You could call it homelessness.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. We can say it. You can't. No, I don't. Not anymore. I finally like snapped out of it. I think part of like the illness, the mental illness that I had, along with the addiction and stuff that brought me there was like, just this weird, I don't even know what it really was. I guess that's all you could call it is mental illness. But yeah, there was a time where I'd go through like bouts of homelessness and then I'd get a place to stay. Like I had friends that would let me crash or whatever for months at a time. And I would just be like, I'm going to go hang out under, with the homeless people at the park for a couple days because I miss it.
Yeah. What was like your so whenever you're houseless, did you have a job that you would work, or like how did you survive?
How did you eat? Mostly other people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like one thing I learned, and I think that I don't know if it had to do with like gratitude or whatever, but I mean a lot of times you just like find really generous people who will take you in. I mean, I was when I was living in LA, there's like several months where I was actually staying in a very nice.
Like how nice are we talking?
What's his name? Ron Jeremy was my neighbor.
No way, yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. So like, I was taken in by this like old couple, and they're just like let me stay there, and they did that with like other homeless people too. Like at one point, there was like 3 of us living in there, 3 homeless people.
Okay.
They're mentally ill too, for doing that. But
the couple.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I just like you just find people, and
did you find them or did they find you? Like that couple, like how did you end up staying living next to Ron Jeremy?
That time I was like, I was on Facebook, and I just had like 5,000 Facebook friends, so they just added people.
Humble flex.
Yeah, no, you just add people. You can do it. Anybody can do it. You just literally click like add, and you can do it too, man. It's super easy. And yeah, then I was like one night I was just like I just like got really blacked out drunk, and I posted I'm gonna tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then so the dude was like, don't do it, and then he actually ended up. He's like, how about you go on a trip to New York with me? And like, see, as being like homeless, I just go with the flow. It's like, yeah, let's go to New York. I was like, this guy's definitely gay, so I like I'm gonna have to figure out how to get out of there. But it turns out he wasn't. And so I actually went on a trip to New York with him.
For like business or?
No, he just felt bad for me. So he had a friend who had a condo, and that he was like bi-coastal, his friend.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh yeah, he's out of town. So I have an open condo. We can go to him. We can just like, he just wanted to like meet an. Yeah, but I was blacked out drunk. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. It's no big deal.
What did you do how long were you in New York with this guy?
It was only like 4 or 5 days. We didn't do much. He was like trying to not spend too much money on me, but we, we went to Central Park. We went out to eat a lot. I'm trying to think if we actually did. We went to like the Twin Towers memorial thing. Right. One day I just took a subway to Queens because I liked the show King of Queens. and I drank a beer in Queens and then came back. That was like my idea of a good time.
Did you just like go to like a corner store?
Yeah.
Then just sat on a bench somewhere.
And I was like King of Queens, and then I went back.
That was the day.
Yeah.
That's funny. Dude, nice.
Yeah. I just bumped it.
Oh, okay. You're all good. And you've not only been houseless, but you've been in a film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell me about your acting career. How did you?
Oh man, that's like
Is that tied to your LA days or separate?
Yeah, that's all tied to LA. That was I just met this. So like during my LA times too, I like tried to get sober a bunch. So I went to AA, and I just met this dude in AA who's like, he was also just like miserable like me and like complained. So I would have like hour-long conversations with him, just about like, push through, blah blah blah. And then one day he's like, I'm writing a film. And I think that you'd be great for. Well, actually, he started out. I was just going to be like an extra, not an extra, but like a small role. And he's like, you know what? I actually think you're exactly like the other character, like the guy who's his friend. So it's like I think I want to cast you as that. And it was really exciting and cool, the whole thing, the whole experience. But then like up until the point where we made it to the film and then watched the film, and I was like, whatever. This is lame.
like whenever you saw the finished product.
Yeah. Like the whole experience was like amazing up until the finished product. And then I'm like, whatever. Like anybody could have done this.
It didn't feel like rewarding to watch it.
Oh no, I had a good time, but then I'm just like, I shouldn't have talked this up so much.
Oh, like there was a lot of hype behind it.
Yeah. And like even like it was like a red carpet event. He like paid Getty Images. But like I think the bottom line of it would be like there's this guy who like was really motivated, and he was able to just like get a lot of people to invest in this movie that he wanted to make that was only okay.
Sure.
If even that you could call it that.
What is the title of it?
The Astrid Experience.
The Astrid Experience?
Yeah.
Like Astrid.
Like that's the name of the girl that he falls in love with.
Which is also Jan's child from The Office. Do you watch The Office?
Yeah, but I don't remember. I didn't know that. So I wonder if I should ask him if
it's like a subtle nod to The Office or something. Is it a comedy?
No. I mean, actually, there's funny parts. That's actually the best part. Like, so I've actually seen, there's like, he changed it a bunch in post-production. So while I was in post-production, I saw the movie and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And then he like re-edited it and had like this whole new beginning part that I thought was hilarious. I'm like, they should have just made this whole thing a comedy. And then like he could have even played on like the badness of it.
Oh, what's that? Like that remind me of that film. Oh gosh. The guy from 127 Hours is in it. James Franco. He's in it. Do you know what film I'm talking about?
It's like a bad. Oh yeah. I don't remember the name.
Like they remade.
Yeah, they remade a movie and the guy's like a total. Yeah. I really wanted to see that, and then I heard I shouldn't listen to people, but I was like, that looks awesome, and then someone was like, nah, it's really bad, and so I never saw it. But I forget the name. I think it's the name of the actor or something.
That's the whole thing of it. I have a computer right here in front. I'm not that interested in it.
Yeah,
I would look.
That reminds me though. Speaking of James Franco, in my AA days, my friend has. Well, actually, never. I'm technically not allowed. Maybe you'll just edit it out. You can do your research, but like. Because you're supposed to keep everything anonymous,
right?
But was his sponsor.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you believe your friend?
No, I definitely do. The story. It sounds like because, like in AA in LA, like I ran into people all the time. Like would be in meetings and like who else? I don't think whatever. You're not even really supposed to tell everybody who's in AA.
I'll cut it up where like
just bleep it.
Every person you say, and then I'll be like, what?
Yeah, and then also
he was there.
But you can like put a picture of them up on the screen,
sure,
the people that watch.
Yeah. It's a slightly blurred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening to the audio version, just go on Spotify or YouTube, and you can look at it there. Which is a good time to mention the supporter of the podcast this week. James Brown from, is it Evansville, Indiana? Thank you for sponsoring this episode of Just Trying to Podcast. Here is a word from James himself.
James Brown, like the singer, Just Trying to Podcast. It's the best. It's changed my life. I also found Jesus a few weeks ago. I was just trying to podcast, and things just fell into place. Yeah, I think my favorite podcast of just trying to podcast is it's got to be either number 6 or number 9.
Moving words, James. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. We couldn't do what we do here without you. Thank you so much. Dude, what was it like being on the red carpet? Was it like a baller? Like, did you roll up in like a limousine?
So we actually rented a car. I went with my brother, and but it was like a really nice. I think it was like a Dodge Charger or something, like this red. So it was a pretty cool sports car. That whole experience was awesome, and like also like the people driving by had no idea that
it was like a subpar, mediocre
Yeah,
film. They
yeah.
thought, like, oh, this is like a big deal.
Yeah, so that felt pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, the whole like everything about the experience. The hardest part was, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna have to go back to like Seattle comedy scene where I was like telling everyone I'm in a movie. That was the hardest part about it.
Coming back.
Yeah.
So humbling.
Yeah, so it was like my life was going so great until March 24th, which was the day after
The premiere.
Everything's gone downhill since then.
Yeah.
No,
did anybody famous come to the premiere of your film?
he's not famous. I don't even really want to look him up. But there was this guy who's maybe I will just yeah. He's not famous, but he's like a well-known comedian and actor. Like he's in like TV shows and stuff like that. But nobody like anybody probably listens to would know. How am I gonna find him though?
Was he?
He's like he's basically nobody, but he's like a working actor, comedian. Like the only reason I know is because he told me and gave me his card, and then I became friends with him on Instagram. And I was like, oh, he's like I just saw they just showed some like movie he's in on Hulu or something, or TV show. So he's definitely somebody, but nowadays like there's so much entertainment out there. Like,
sure,
it's not like anybody that important, but I don't even know if I can find him. So that's not important, I guess. Yeah. I don't remember his name.
Man, if
this guy, I don't remember his name, dude. He was awesome.
If it comes back to you, name drop him.
Okay.
Like, then we can point back to like this episode of the podcast whenever that guy blows up. And be like, dude, that guy went to my film premiere.
Yeah.
So just,
And I also like my friend who's also, he came. He knew he's a comedian in LA, and he's like, oh shit, that guy.
He knew him.
Yeah.
Okay. From like the scene, I guess.
Yeah. I just he's like, because he was like headlining at Laughs or not Laughs, Laugh Factory, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Did you do any comedy while you were
down
there?
I thought about it. I almost went to, I think it was the Comedy Chateau or something, but they were not doing comedy that day. So like I was gonna go to this mic, and then they didn't do comedy that day.
Oh, okay. When did you start doing stand-up
comedy? I did it a bunch when I was in LA. Like I never really count that as part of my comedy, because I would just like go on stage and get drunk.
You weren't like
and I wasn't like thinking about I wasn't like trying to craft a set. Right. I would never say the same thing twice. And
just be like, what's gonna come out?
Yeah, and so like there's no way that was like going anywhere. Sure. I mean, even if I was funny every time, you're not gonna. I guess it's no different than now, but.
Okay, so when would you say you started?
Last June.
Yeah. So if you hit a year.
Yeah, it's the year mark.
Like, do you remember what day like you did your first?
June 6th.
We're celebrating right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been June 6th.
Yeah.
I took a comedy class with Taylor Clark.
Okay.
I think anybody in Seattle who's listening to this and wants to get into comedy should take that class.
Does he do those in person or is it online?
It's in person. At a comedy club. When I did it as a club comedy, I don't know if he's always doing it at club comedy or just whatever club is available. And then you do a show afterward. But he really it really just changed how I saw stand-up comedy. And like I'm like, oh, I can actually, craft a set and like use this information that he gave me to like keep doing stuff instead of just getting drunk and rambling on stage.
And just see what comes out.
Yeah.
Like putting some thought in it beforehand. How did you end up in the class?
Oh man, that's such a ridiculous story. Okay, so I see, I don't know really where to start. Basically, though, I
Start-
kind of want to
start-
start at the beginning.
Dude, yeah, come on.
But yeah, so I had basically like I was just no, it couldn't have been before I had the condo, but yeah, no, I had it. Okay. But yeah, I just sort of like
You're
subscribed.
no longer houseless.
Yeah, I was just sort of definitely not. I mean, I wouldn't even say even before I got the condo, I was just living back at my mom's house. You know, she's like, you can
okay.
stay here as long as you don't do meth. It was
Fair.
like, you know what? That used to be a deal breaker,
but
but now I think we can negotiate.
Sure.
So I think I might have been living in her, but I probably did have the condo because basically when I had the condo too, I was still like I like staying at my mom's house because I was lonely. I had literally no friends. I'd been back in Seattle for a while, and I just
like a year or 2 years.
oh yeah, like for a while, and probably a year and a half, and I was just living at my mom's and doing all stuff with my family. So, anyways, I'd sort of just like subscribe to that. This is gonna be my life from now on. I'm just gonna live, at my mom's. Things were still going good, like got the condo and stuff, but I'm just gonna like stick with the family and not ever have friends again.
It's me, mom.
Yeah, so I remember I just sort of like kind of accepted that, and I was like, okay, life's good no matter what. I'm enjoying the moment as it is, as like much of a loser as I am. And then I remember I was at the gas station, and it was weird because like I did have the condo. I remember because I got off the freeway and you go left. I'm like, oh, I want to get some soda. And then I was like, there's a gas station right by the condo, but something told me to go to this other gas station by my mom's house. So I'm like, I'm going to go there. I park, and then I see this girl pull in who I used to smoke meth with. And I'm like, oh my dude, I do not. So I'm like trying to pretend like I don't see her. And then I like notice out of the corner of my eye, she perks up and sees me. I'm like, oh, this is the worst. So anyways, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Do the pleasantries. But it turns out she's actually doing great. She's like doing this like DJ thing and like doing all these things and not doing meth. And so I'm like, okay, that's cool. And she's like telling me, she's like, oh, I'm actually doing this like, I don't know, it was like she just took some kind of class or whatever, and she's doing like a speech there. So she's like, will you come on Friday? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Like I've literally no friends, so I'll come to that. I go to it, and like it's like this whole like closing ceremony for this like life coaching class, and like everybody, there's like people that were like DJs or just whatever they're trying to do. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I basically kind of reconnected with her after that, and maybe the fourth or fifth time I saw her, she's like, I'm going to take that class again. I really want you to take it. And I'm like, how much is it? And she's like, $5,000.
$5,000?
Not going to do it. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not going to do it. And then she's like, what if I help you? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to, like, you're going to have to really help me. 'Cause I'm not going to do it. And then, so that was, whatever, that was the conversation. And then like the next time I saw her, she's like, I'm going to take the class. I really want you to take the class. She had just come across like a huge settlement. So she's like, I'll pay for it. What? Yeah. So basically she paid $5,000 for me to take this. See, I'm telling you, like, people just love letting me live in their penthouses and paying for my life coaching classes.
That is insane.
So I just took the class, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I was like, now I have like some more things to do than just like live with my mom and like hang out with my dad. And so he's basically, so to get to the answer to your question, I took that class. And then he's like, well, what do you want to do with your life, or what were your dreams? I'm like, well, I used to like get drunk and, ramble on stage in LA. And he's like, so you want to do comedy? And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, why don't you look into it? What would you do? Like, what would be the next steps? So I came up with the idea, like, I think I would take a comedy class is what I would do. He's like probing me.
Sure.
And then he's like, okay, that's your first step. Like, look up a comedy class. I look it up. There's like this comedy class for $200 or whatever the price he has. And it starts like 2 days from then. So I'm like, oh, dude, I have to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I took the class, and then fast forward to now, here we are. Now I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah. You've made it. You've arrived,
yeah.
dude. Okay. So this lady who paid for your life coaching $5,000. Are you gonna pay her back?
With Gratitude. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're just really grateful.
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably, now that you said that, like I probably, I'm not going to pay her back, no, but like I probably should like, you know.
That's not where I saw that going.
Yeah.
When you said like I probably should like pay her.
No, I should. Yeah, no, I should like give, you know, maybe like give her some flowers or something.
That's the least
yeah.
you could do, dude. Okay. Dude, so you were living with the condo. Did you have both cars yet?
No.
You were
I just
carless?
had one. No, I had one car. Yeah.
One car, which was what?
Same. I mean, which they're both the same. So it was the automatic though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have two cars that are the exact same, except one's a manual, one's an automatic. Wait.
Yep. No, wait. Yeah.
Did I say that right?
No, yeah, you did. You did.
Okay.
You got me confused too.
The
power of
face I
suggestion.
gave you.
Yeah.
So you've been doing comedy for about a year. And you took this. How long was the class?
I think it was like a 3-month class.
Oh, okay.
It was. Yeah, it was
pretty long.
It was a lot of it was online, but we'd have like 1 week in person, and then there'd be like a online course you take, and then we'd have like a weekly meeting, you know, like online virtual meeting. So
it was like kind of like a hybrid.
Yeah, it was very woo woo though. Like
I don't know.
Like
what that means.
you
That
know,
must be
like
a
set your
Northwest.
intentions and like manifest your reality.
Oh.
You know.
What was your intention, and did you manifest it?
No, man. My intention. I need to like, you know, I'm an abundant person for sure, but like I want like a solid like $100,000 in my bank account. You know, that's my intention.
That's your intention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From comedy or just from?
No, it would be nice if it came from like all sorts of stuff. I think the comedy thing, it's going to be tough to make money in. I mean, the most I've made in comedy is with the producing. But even that's like, you know, I don't even see how that would like pay
To like live.
Yeah.
Especially in Seattle.
Yeah. But it's definitely a nice side hustle, and like, yeah, there's been like months where it really helped.
What is your like first memory of stand-up? So like before you even did it, like just like can you remember, was there like a stand-up you like watched like a special on TV?
Well, yeah, so there's like kind of 2 points to that question, like because I actually, now that I really think about it, I actually tried stand-up when I was 15 at Giggles Comedy Club, which is now Laughs here.
Oh, here in Seattle.
Yeah, so I guess I've been doing comedy for 20 years. But yeah, so there was a time, I don't really remember like the specific person, but I just remember I really like I mean, I was always like trying to be a class clown, and like I believe that getting people to laugh would be the only way that people would like me. Like I was really sick. Like I remember I was like, oh, I didn't make Jake Ferkingstead laugh. Oh my God, like he's gonna end up hating me, or like I didn't do this. That's actually kind of what led to the alcohol and drug addiction, was like, oh, when I'm drinking, like that's real easy to get people to laugh. So, but anyway, so I do remember I would like watch stand-up comedy. Like there would be Comedy Central would have like a stand-up Friday night thing, and I remember I'd just watch it and just be so happy and love it. I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do. So that's when I tried Giggles, but I don't really remember a specific person. There was, though, a time maybe in my 20s, I watched this Eddie Griffin. It was kind of when I was like more exploring like this philosophical side of life and like the spiritual side. And I was watching this Eddie Griffin special, and he was just being like crazy Eddie Griffin. Like there's nothing really spiritual about it, but I was like getting this transcendent. I was like, dude, I think comedy is like a spiritual experience. And so like that special he did was like really, I'd already like, you know, obviously thought about doing comedy as a kid or whatever, but that was like, I don't know if that special is like what made me want to go to like LA. I don't really think I really went to LA to make it big. It was just it just sort of worked out that way. It's easy to be homeless in LA. I mean, unhoused, whatever it is now. But yeah, I think that Eddie Griffin special is like really where I was like, oh, dude, stand-up is like more than just getting on stage and making people laugh, or it can be. I don't necessarily do that. I don't think anything I ever say is really going to be transcendent to another person.
Tell me about that experience. Like you were talking about exploring the philosophical side of life, or like this, it was like a spiritual, I think you described it as like a spiritual experience.
Yeah. It was, I was like, cause I was exploring just like, okay, there's gotta be more to life than just like everything's an accident, and like just living life. And I don't really particularly remember what he said or anything. It just like moved me where I'm like, oh, there's got to be other people that think this way. And like maybe the best way to get that out for some people is through stand-up comedy. And I still do believe that, or, like whether I do it or not personally.
Sure.
But I do think that, yeah, like the best way to like shine light on a topic, which I think even just doing that is like spiritual. Anything to me, something spiritual is like just more. I mean, it'll eventually. It's like it's all going to one place where that like higher power, or whatever. But like there's like steps and levels to that, and so like part of that is anything that's like more transcendent than just like physical reality, like everything. Anything that causes you to like think, I consider it spiritual. So like I think philosophy is a spiritual topic.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. How long have you had that kind of viewpoint of life? Because you grew up. Did you grow up here in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably like 10 years, 11 years. I mean, for a while. I definitely. But see, I thought smoking meth was a spiritual experience too, though. So probably shouldn't listen to me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's a good disclaimer.
Yeah.
We'll put this at the bottom of the page, like in the show notes. Be like,
yeah. I was like, oh, dude, it opens your mind and it helps you think like abstractly. Like it's and I think a lot of people actually that smoke meth experience that, because there's a lot of people that think that they're like Jesus, or they think they're aliens or demons. Like a lot of tweakers
really
think that. Yeah. So I think it just makes you crazy. Maybe spirituality is just crazy. Maybe.
Dude, that's what. Okay. Did you ever have any? Do you remember? Like, did you think you were divine at some point?
Oh yeah, I thought I was. I mean, I stole a car because of it. I thought I
What?
was. Yeah. But I found the car. I was like, I found the car because I was like, dude, this is so nuts. But I was like following. I was like kept yelling like, I want a car, because I thought I was like connected to like the simulation. Like I thought I was I was in a video game. And that I was like the main player, but I could also, the simulation was like conscious, so I could like tell it what I wanted. And I kid you not, like I followed like flickering lights, and then there was this big van in this parking lot, and it was like all the lights were like shining on. I'm like, that's the car that I've been trying to get. I opened the door, and like I'm like, if the keys are in the like middle console, it's my car. The keys were in the middle console. So I'm like, all right, my car. So I drove it around for a while, and then I ended up like falling asleep in it, because like you can fall asleep on meth if you've been up for 6 days. And
goodness.
And then I woke up and the battery was dead, and like thank God, because like if I would have kept driving it around, I would have totally been arrested.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I went and asked people for like jumps, and nobody had it. So I was like, all right, I guess that's.
So you just left the van somewhere.
Yeah. So I hope the guy got it, because I actually saw like a picture. It was a Mexican guy's van, because he had like his licenses and stuff in there.
So you knew
I hope he got it back.
Oh
I'm sure he did. I couldn't have brought it that far.
But you don't really know.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, so like the craziest thing, I was like convinced, but I also had all this weird evidence that it was true when I was high, because like stuff like that would happen all the time. And I was just like, I literally for a long time, even after I like got off meth, I had to like I had to have like a lot of negative like things happen that I didn't want to happen, and like to break that pathway. But for a while, even after, because I had like such crazy, I guess they're just coincidental experiences or demonic or whatever, where I was like, dude, on meth, I was like thinking things almost into reality or whatever. Like that's how it felt.
Yeah,
so then I believed, I was like, okay, I'm in a simulation, and maybe I just like forgot that I created it, and like I'm the only guy in the simulation. And like, because I would have, I mean, so many times, and it would always be on meth. So like then I went through this phase too, where I was like, if I smoke meth, I get these like, I break through and I like know the truth, and then I'm able to do these things. So I kept like chasing that. And yeah, I think I might happen to like a lot of people, and that's why they all go crazy, because it was definitely starting, to make me go crazy too. I remember there was a time where I'd smoke meth, and then I got scared. Like the simulation knows that I know, and it's going to send like all its bots to attack me.
Goodness. Were you just like watching the Matrix like over and over again?
No, I mean, I was just in reality, man. Yeah. No, it was just, I don't know. I guess that's just what happens when you like go into psychosis and whatever else. I think there's something more to it because, like I said, the car thing happened. There's times where I like found money and or there's times where I found money and stuff, and I think that I don't know. Like I still can't explain. If anything, it'd be like the best way to put it is like a probably demonic experience. But there was just more to it than just like, okay, this is just like an accident, or this is, just like me connecting incorrect dots. I mean, I definitely was, but there was like more to it than that. So that's why I'm like get into this idea that there's like a higher thing that's
like there's more happening here than just like what's going
exactly.
on here this table.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people now that are probably. I mean, you can't like prove it or anything, but they probably have anecdotal evidence where they're like, yeah, I believe that too.
Do you believe in demons?
Oh yeah, man.
What do you like? Are you being for real?
Yeah, dude, I totally believe in demons.
Why?
I don't know. I just like all the crazy stuff that's happened and like the weird experiences I've had on drugs and like seen them. I've had
You've seen a demon?
Yeah, I've seen like shadowy figures and like that have made. So back to the whole lights flickering thing. That's like a common occurrence that happens to me when I was on meth. Like I remember I would and I had my roommate come to verify this one time, but I was like staring at this light and I was like telling, like it was a chandelier and I was like, turn on, and it would, and I was like, turn off, and then it would. So I went and got my roommate. I was like, you have to watch this. And then he did, and then he got freaked out and was like, I can't do this. I'm getting out of here.
Dude, I'm getting scared. I'm like about to tear up. I'm getting terrified.
Well, yeah, man, be careful. I might make your lights flicker.
Please do not.
Yeah.
Dude, in Jesus' name, get up out of here, demons, dude.
Thank you. Get rid of them.
Dude, for real. Like
it wasn't me. Like it was all demons, That's
dude, did you have nightmares growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I would get like night terrors, like sleep paralysis, and like that's another time, and I'll still get that from time to time, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I've even tried yelling Jesus at him. Maybe I have to like go to church. Maybe I have to go to your dinners.
Yeah,
but
come on over.
Yeah, but like even that won't work sometimes. But I'll get yeah, and like I don't really know I like to just make it simple. I was telling somebody the other day about this, and they're like, demons aren't real, and they got all like mad. But I'm like, dude, you believe you believe men can be women. Why can't demons be real?
Oh, that's a divisive. Were we like on the light rail whenever you said this, or at a bar?
Yeah. It was just like a friend of mine actually.
Okay, well, that's probably a safe person to have that conversation.
Yeah.
With.
Until you can't.
until they're no longer your friend.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, I don't even know where we began.
Yeah, twists and turns. That's a problem with you having me on your show.
No, like,
my brain doesn't.
I like it. No, I was interested. So, like, that was very interesting. I was interested. It was a very. You're blah, blah, blah. You're fine.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering would you consider yourself a fan of comedy?
Oh yeah, I think I love comedy.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of comedians?
Yeah, it's the same ones that everybody else says, though. Like, I think Bill Burr is, like, my number one. Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle. I don't know if I, like, put him in order, but it's always, like, the top guys that pretty much everybody who says they're into comedy says.
Like, but is that, like, an objective Mount Rushmore, or is that, like, your personal?
No, that's mine. Okay. And then another one, Mark Normand. He's, like, there's a subjective one for you. I think. Are you familiar with Mark Normand?
Yeah, I saw him in Spokane.
Yeah. I think he's like one of my favorites if you're talking about subjective. But the other ones are definitely subjective as well.
Have you seen him in like live in person?
No, but I totally would love that. I think that would be probably way better. Like seeing him perform at like a dingy dive bar. I mean, that's actually never mind. I've seen that. Like that's pretty much what he does. So, but seeing it in person, I think would be awesome. Yeah.
He sold out like I think it was almost like 6 shows at the Spokane Comedy Club, which is like a big room.
Yeah.
And he sold like they just kept adding shows.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like and it's so funny how he started and like even his podcast. Have you ever listened to Tuesdays with Stories?
I've seen clips.
It's so good. And like
episode.
They just started out as like nobodies, Joe
List and
yeah.
They're both New York comics?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done comedy anywhere else besides Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, well, if I've got drunk and
since last June.
No,
like,
but
you're like
July 7th, I'm doing the Mushroom Show in Oregon,
Oh,
Portland,
okay.
Oregon. So I'm
You're
already a
branching out.
traveling comic.
Wow, in Portland or
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like right. It's basically Portland. Yeah.
okay. But
The
you,
Curious Comedy Theater or something like that.
yeah, I'll put a. I mean, I don't know if I have any. I think I actually have I might have one listener in Portland
Okay.
that
Yeah.
I know of, like confirmed. So I'll put a link in the show notes. Go to the Shroom
Cool.
Show on
Yeah.
July 7th.
I won't be on shrooms.
You
I'm the
won't be.
host. Yeah.
Okay, but you guys did like the same format. and
Yeah, we
everything?
did it at the Shanghai Room in Seattle. We sold 125 tickets.
Like it sold out.
Can you imagine?
It
that?
sold out before.
Oh yeah, it sold out before the show started, but then we kept like people came to the door. There's 125 people there.
That's
It was
a
just nuts.
small space.
Yeah, no, they had to put obviously like they had to put the show on the projector. Like there's how it's
The
split
side room, yeah,
in the middle, so there's like people that weren't even watching it in person; they were watching it on TV.
But they're
I think
in the room though.
Yeah, I think it'd been funnier because there's that diner attached to it. We should just have them like all in the diner. It's like, yeah, $5 tickets. Just like you get to watch it. It's next to you. You can sort of hear the mumbling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going
the
on?
vibrations, and
And
then,
it went well.
oh yeah, no, I think that was one of my best. I actually use it now as like a reel or not what is it called? Like a submission tape.
Yeah, you send it in to like
Yeah.
get a gig.
And then I might be doing a show in Tucson or a festival in Tucson. Some guy reached out to me, and then
Tucson, Arizona.
yeah, and then he
Comedy festival.
yeah, and then I don't know if it's what's gonna happen though. He was like all excited for like a week, and then now I haven't been able to reach him. So
Okay.
maybe he saw more of my comedy.
He's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Do you put your clips online?
I go in and out of like what I want to do. That's why I might not make it anywhere because like a couple months ago I was like, okay, I'm really focused on production, and I really like that. And now I'm like kind of tired of production, and
Like producing shows?
yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I should. So then, yeah, I don't think I do enough. I mean, obviously, like whatever I'm doing, stuff's happening, but yeah, I definitely don't do that enough. I don't do a lot of things enough.
Yeah. Did you get into producing shows to get more stage time?
Yeah, and well, it also sort of just fell into my lap. Like Noah Rubin, Dino Dad, was like, oh, I got an
Shout
extra.
out Dino Dad.
I got an extra, couple spots. You want to produce a show? I'm like, yeah, why not? So that's sort of what happened. And then Tapped Out Comedy, which we started doing at Vessel Tap House, that also fell into our laps. Like we were actually just me and Nick Cody were joking. We were at Dave & Buster's and we were like, we should do comedy at Vessel Tap House. It would be so ridiculous because every show I've ever seen there sucked. So I thought it'd be funny to do a show there. And then like 2 days later, Nick's like, you'll never guess who reached out to me. The booker of Vessel Tap House. He wants us to do, or he wanted Nick to do a show. He's like, do you want to do it with me? So that was pretty weird. Like we were literally just making a joke about
And
it.
then
And then,
happened.
yeah. It's
Demons?
and I didn't even have to do meth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only demons if it's meth, man. It's like the light and yeah.
It's an angel in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any comedy goals? Like, so you're like a year in. Is there anything like a milestone? Like
My goal is to quit comedy.
Okay.
I've tried to quit it like 4 times, and then it keeps calling me back.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't know if I have any goal. Like I just kind of like seeing where it goes. Like I do have like intentions almost. Like I know that's kind of lame. We were just talking about those, but whenever I say intentions, I think of like some like, rich white girl in LA who's like, I just set an intention on my vision board and it's like totally manifested, and I'm just like so grateful that my daddy paid for it.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. But anyways, yeah, I do have like intentions. Like I would like to see me like grow and like perform all over and make money doing comedy, like good money.
Like,
or
would you like to be like, would you be stoked about being a national headliner, like going and headlining comedy clubs like over the nation?
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like you would be stoked about that.
Absolutely. I'd also be worried though, because like that's my one. I feel like it's like this constant battle. Like I feel like I'm just worried that if I were to be like a national headliner, I would just be like doing cocaine and like
the lifestyle might
yeah,
throw
yeah.
you
So
back
like that's what
into
like
addiction.
really holds me back. From,
That's
like-
what's holding you back is just
Yeah.
the fear of relapse.
Yeah, I mean, just going off the rails, Yeah.
Okay, I was like, never mind. You kind of strike me as someone who could be into some weird stuff.
Like what?
And like, I mean, your story, like you've lived, you've been houseless before, a lot of drug. You've lived with random people. You go on trips to New York.
Yeah,
like,
I lived with 10 Filipinos in a 2-bedroom house one time.
in LA.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying? Dude? Like, it's like bizarre.
yeah.
And like you believe in demons. I actually believe in demons too, so I don't think that's crazy. But like
Everything else though.
everything else, yeah. Like, is there ever been? I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about conspiracy theories. Like when people who like don't say them as a joke, but like genuinely are convinced, of a like that
Yeah.
we've never been to the moon. Like someone who's like, I actually believe. Like, what's like the is there a conspiracy theory that you believe? Like, what's the weirdest?
Oh, I
one?
think that I do believe that like there's like a satanic cabal, for sure.
A what?
Like a cabal of like
What's I don't know what a cabal.
like
is.
a group of like people that run the world. That
Oh,
also
like the Illuminati.
Yeah. I definitely think that the Illuminati is real, but like I don't know, like I don't really get into those podcasts too much. I used to for a little while. That could be why I think this.
A conspiracy podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I just I feel like the more I like try to do research on such a thing, like it just gets off the rails and gets ridiculous. Like reptile people or like I don't think anybody
Sure.
knows. But I think like if I keep it real simple, like I do believe that there is like a group of people that run the world and they might know more about how reality works than the rest of us, and they use it to their advantage, which makes it evil,
Whoa, back that up for me just 1 second. They might know more than me and you how reality works.
Yeah. Like they might know like, oh, this, like if we put these sigils here, like they'll like people will behave in this certain way.
Sigils?
Yeah, like sigils.
We're
They're like
speaking a
sigils are like symbols, like which like the occult they have
Oh.
they have like certain symbols like what's it called, like sacred geometry. They believe like certain symbols and messages like will actually
I've never watched these YouTube
cast
videos.
spells.
I have no idea what you're talking. I mean, I can picture what you're saying, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah.
about
So
that.
I do think that that's because that's what they want. They don't want you to know, man.
Oh, okay, it's a secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do think that there's like that's what I mean by know more about reality. Like they understand like, oh, this creates that, or like people's like people's belief in things. So like some people think like the Super Bowl is like a ritual, So everyone's watching it. So then they do a ritual. The ritual being the halftime show, not the actual sport itself. And they do some kind of like certain occultic imagery and all these things. And it sort of like puts people into this mindset. And then when the whole mass is in this certain mind state, it helps. Because like, let's say you really can create your reality and nobody knows that, then you can manipulate people into creating reality for you.
You believe this?
I mean, that's totally. If I was able to steal a car
Oh,
by
okay,
thinking it, yeah, I think it's possible.
Wow.
I don't
okay.
believe it 100%. Like
Do
I'm
you
never.
believe the Super Bowl piece?
What?
The Super Bowl piece.
There's a lot of evidence towards it.
Oh no way, dude! No way.
But I don't like conspiracy people. Like they're very annoying to me,
Okay.
and they like they're so like moralistic, or not moralistic. They're just so like soapboxy, and they're like
Sure.
they're and narcissistic, and like I know and you don't, and like I don't like that. So like I'm open to the idea that the Super Bowl is a satanic ritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like I was thinking about that question. I was like, he's going to have a good answer. Like, I had no idea where it was going to go, but I felt like it was going to be something juicy, and like you totally lived up to it.
Good. I'm glad.
Dude, there's been a lot of weird stuff happening in the world. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people, like, the culture is just getting real. I saw this thing I wanted to show you just to get your take on it, because I kind of feel like, what are we doing? So I'm going to pull up this image, and I just want to see how it kind of hits you. All right. This is Oscar Mayer meat seltzers. So everyone's getting in the hard seltzer game. Oscar Mayer has a ham and cheese meat seltzer, an original bologna meat seltzer, and an olive loaf meat seltzer. You can pick this up coming July 4th.
Are you sponsored by Oscar Mayer?
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, man. I think
Would you sip on one of these guys?
Of course, I would. I would absolutely. I'm glad that you. When is it again? July.
It's July 4th
Oh,
weekend. They're
dude, I'm
debuting.
celebrating 4th of July with a cigarette and a ham and cheese seltzer.
Dude, what's more American than that?
Yeah, that is American. Yep.
Okay, but for real talk, I just came across this. I think this is actually on the internet like a couple of years ago, but I just saw a post and they got me. I was like, what are we doing? But these are fake. I mean, these aren't real.
Oh, you believed it though.
I believed it.
That's like, yeah. I mean, I had a feeling they weren't real, but I was like really excited. You convinced me. See, that's once again the power of suggestion. Because if I saw that on like a Facebook feed, I would be like, not real. But like the fact that you believed it, and then you made me believe it, kind of like what we were talking about the Super Bowl thing, the power of belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like now I'm disappointed. I was really excited for my ham and cheese seltzer. But yeah, there's so much. So that's one thing. There's so much crap on the internet that's like, even it's meant to just troll, and then people will believe it. And it like, now you have like 2 million people that are like, those ham and cheese seltzer. And then maybe there'll be even people that they like have a conspiracy theory, like, dude, ham and cheese seltzers do exist.
Yeah.
And like,
because I was Googling it, and there's like a lot of TikToks about it. So I don't know if it was like a TikTok thing a couple of years ago, or if it's like resurfacing or whatever. But like you can see on this image, it says box of chowder on like the left can on the top. So I should have known that it was fake, but they got me.
Oh yeah, they'll get you. That's the power of humor.
Golly, I felt so silly after that. But anyways, but really, have you heard of this? So you know Bert Kreischer, comedian. He has
that movie,
The Machine, based off of a joke that he wrote, or I guess like a life story that he turned into a joke.
Yeah.
Have you seen this film?
No, but I want to.
You want to? Okay.
I don't know much about it though, so.
Have you heard this?
I don't know the story, unless it's the one his like one famous.
Yeah, he's like he goes to Russia.
Yeah. Okay.
And he gets up in the Russian
his
mob.
most famous joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That like for sure his most famous joke.
Yeah.
So that becomes a film. Is there a story from your life that it could be made into a film that you could star in?
Does it have to be a joke that I tell?
No, but
okay.
I'm just wondering if we're gonna find your version of The Machine right now on this podcast, and then
that'd
10
be
years
cool.
later,
The time I hitchhiked from LA to Seattle would be the movie.
That would be the movie.
Because so much weird stuff happened. Like, we can't even really get into it too much just because it's just too many things, and I'd actually need to like go sit down and remember. But yeah, like all just the weird freaks that I met, like that picked me up, and just the weird things that happened from. And I wish everyone told me, like my mom told me I should write a book about it like years ago.
When was this?
I think it was 2016.
You hitchhiked. Wait, which direction again?
From LA to Seattle.
LA to Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the next podcast we're gonna do. If you'll
come
back,
yeah.
if you come back,
we can do the whole.
Think about it.
I need to think about because there's
down.
a lot that I need to remember, and like, just there's so many weird stuff. I ended up like the last part of it. I ended up like living. This girl picked me up in Northern California, and then we went to Portland together. Did like mushrooms. She actually, when she picked me up, she was a vegan who didn't drink, and then by the time we parted ways, she was eating meat and drinking beers. And that was only about 2 weeks.
I can't wait to hear this. So we'll have you back on the podcast, and I would love to hear. We'll just do like it'll be that'll be like the
whole
subject. Trip. We'll walk through the whole trip.
Okay. And you're good at that. You're helping me like recall things. You're good at asking the questions. So I think what I'll do is like I'll try to remember everything, and then I bet you'll pry some like, stuff out of me too.
Yeah, good. So thanks so much, man, for coming in. Where can people find you online? Do you want them to find you online?
No, it's fine. I just don't. Like I said, I'm not doing enough. But hey, maybe this will like start Maybe this podcast will help me motivate. But my Instagram is RobConroy_INC. Rob Conroy Inc. And I don't remember my YouTube.
Well, I'll get it from you. I'll put it in the show notes so people can check it out.
And then you can Facebook. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm trying to get back to 5,000 friends.
What are you at right now?
Nothing, dude. Because I deleted all my social media.
Oh, okay.
There's another story for you. I was making videos like a couple years ago. This is part of the reason why I was like, I don't have any friends. I don't want any friends. But I was making videos during the pandemic, and This is when I did have like a large follow, or not following, but lots of friends on Facebook. And yeah, I made a video that like angered somebody. And so then they got like all they're like an influential person. They might have had like hundreds of thousands of followers. And they just had them all team up on me and send me death threats and stuff like that every day.
So then you just like, I'm out.
Yeah, so I deleted that, and then I was just like, the universe is against me. I don't have any friends. And
and here you are, dude.
Yeah.
You've got a few friends.
Yeah, I know.
You're doing
something's weird. Something's wrong.
And then people can see you. You're performing in Portland, you said, on July 7th.
Yeah, at the Curious Comedy Theater.
The Curious Comedy Theater.
Yeah, and then they can come to the Shanghai Room anytime.
Are you hosting there at all? Or?
It's kind of dwindling away, but I can take the reins back anytime. But I do every other Friday, but I've had so many things come up, and like I keep getting things that I need to do. Like I was hosting this other place. I had a feature in Kent. So lots of big things.
Yeah, popping off.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Thank you so much for coming in. It was fun to catch up.
Yeah,
and
man.
Hear more about your life.
I'm excited. We're gonna create this movie, dude. This is finally a good movie. I'm gonna be in.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching today's episode. As always, stay funny and stay weird. Peace. Great shot.